All right. Shalom Makim. It's a high spirit wind Judah of the GMS Mississippi camp, giving all honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua Bahasham Dash. I also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of great millstone who rule well. I want to say peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. All right. It's a high spirit wind Judah. And today I want to go into a topic entitled Gender Roles, Duties, and Feminism. I was watching a podcast with this Jake by the name of Yada Awakening, and he was talking about how men should pay 100%, cover 100% of the roles in spite of the modern day economic situation. All right, but some things came to my mind while I was watching that, and long story short, what I've realized is that the duties of our women, all right, the duties of our women have basically been marketed back to us, because what has happened was our women have been liberated from us and their duties have been sold back to us. For example, when you go to a hotel and someone knocks on the door, you're in a hotel for the weekend, and someone knocks on the door and they say room service. All right, and they come in and fold your sheets and change the sheets and just put the folded towels up in the restroom. All right, that's one of the roles of a woman. All right, when you go out to eat with your friends or your family and you have a waitress that stands there and she asks, hey, y'all want anything to drink? Y'all want some appetizers? All right, then she comes back and gets your meal, and next thing you know, she puts everyone's meal on the table. That's another role of a woman. Once you look at the back of the restaurant and you see the women in the kitchen cooking, all right, and they got the uniform on or whatever, all right, they too are in the role of a woman, all right. Furthermore, once you go to a daycare and you might pick up your offspring, your son or your daughter, and they say, are you here for little Michael? And you say, yeah, and the woman comes to the door, or she escorts your son or daughter to the door, she's in the role of a woman, all right. So what feminism did and what feminism did was liberate our women from us and sell their roles back to us, sell their duties back to us, and it's very expensive. Daycare is very expensive. Going out to eat in restaurants is very expensive. What else did I just name? Housekeeping. If you live in an apartment, right, and you were to call someone to clean up your house, like a housekeeper, professional housekeeper, that one cycle to clean up your rooms and your kitchen and all that, it'll run you about $200 on a minimum, and that's just an apartment. So imagine paying somebody $200 every time you wanted your apartment clean. All right, and it came by way of ear of someone that I know that knows someone that got a professional room cleaner to clean their house, a professional housekeeper to clean their house. All right, and I failed to mention another thing. So many women go to school for nursing because they're nurses. All right, but there are nursing strangers, and I also failed to mention teachers. So all these roles that I named, they're in a woman to do in the first place. The waitress, the teacher, the nurse, the housekeeper, the cook, all right, the babysitter, the daycare provider, whatever you call it, okay? All those are the roles of a woman that's been taken from us, but turn around, used to empower his power structure, and then turn around and market it back to us. So now you as a single man, you have a woman, you might have a chick that you chill with per se, right? You might have a woman, what they call a girlfriend, and she's totally disconnected from her gender role. Meanwhile, you're on the phone talking to her, driving home, simultaneously trying to figure out what you're going to eat when you get to the house, or where you're going to go to eat before you get to the house when you just getting off work, all right? You might have a son or a daughter, and let's say you got a so-called baby mama or something, y'all co-parenting. So she got to find a babysitter, or you might be able to, whatever it may be, y'all got to go to the daycare, or you might hire a babysitter. What the fuck is a babysitter? All right, when all these things are in the role of a woman. And women's roles are so powerful, it's so important because it's what sustains a nation. We're not downplaying women, all right? We're just giving them proper context of why they're here on the planet Earth. Okay? And Shabbat Shalom, Shalom to you brothers and sisters who are tuning into this live stream. So what I've realized is that through feminism and individualism, right, our families are lost. They're done. They're destroyed. All right. Going back to nursing, our women go to school for nursing. All right, just to nurse strangers. But if you look at the extended family or your extended family, how many family nurses do we have that's in our family? That's here to nurse grandma. That's here to nurse papa. You see, those roles are so freaking powerful. And when a man, those roles are so powerful that when a man has his finances together, then now he's willing to go overseas just to fly a woman over here or move to her country just to get those gender roles because they are so important and they're so expensive outside of a woman doing it for her man. Okay? So the feminism allowed women to basically, it was a transition of servitude, just like the Civil War. They didn't the North wasn't financed by the elites just for them to free the slaves. No, it was to transfer the slaves because whoever's going to have the slaves is going to come into power. You have to remember, Great Britain, all right, had an industrial revolution, and the North was like an extension of Britain. That's why you have New York, New Hampshire, all right, and they had all these states that was the new version of what they had in Europe. Okay. And what happened was the North was financed to basically transfer the slaves from the South, all right, to empower the North through their factories. So just like in the South, just like in the Civil War America, all right, those are transfer of servants because whoever had the servants, that's who was going to come into power. And what happened? Fast forward 100 years later, okay, because slavery ended 1865, but feminism was around 1960s. Plus World War II, they already had women working in plants and stuff because the men was fighting overseas. All right, but fast forward 100 years later, what happened? A woman is disconnected from her gender role just for you to have to go out and buy her gender role through different services. All right, because going back to the restaurant, and your woman being a waitress and a cook at the restaurant. The restaurant is the kitchen. It's the restaurant is the kitchen. The stove, the refrigerator, all those cabinets, the food pantry, that's the restaurant. That's her domain. That's why women are so good at knowing where everything is in the house because that's her domain. The scripture says she's a keeper of the house. But once again, if you were to hire a housekeeper, you would be out of pocket. If you were to eat out every day, most of us would be out of pocket. We can't afford it. If you were to hire a babysitter, you would be out of pocket. If you had an at-home nurse to take care of grandma or papa or the uncle or the aunt, you would be out of pocket. But a woman was supposed to be groomed to be all those things. And it's a very beautiful thing. And the more I get into it, the more I respect it. It's important. We're not here to be girlfriends and boyfriends. We're not here to be friends. Like, oh, this is my friend, Dontavia. She introduced him to who the fuck is your friend? Y'all having sex. All right. We're here to build and maintain our race, our nation. Okay? Individualism is the reason why our daughters, our women, and I'm gonna get to the men too, but our daughters, our women, they go to school just to empower another man's power structure. Meanwhile, the nuclear family and the extended family is lacking. Most of us have teachers in our family, but who's staying at home teaching the sons and daughters? Most of us have at least a nurse in the family, but who's staying home and nursing the aunt that looked out for everybody, or the uncle that looked out for everybody? Now he's elderly. Your own mama. You got who's all these females in the family And it's a bunch of single females in our families. Nobody's the caregiver, because the payoff is whoever she's caregiving, she's staying with them. So if I gotta stay with the uncle, if I gotta stay with papa or grandma and be her caregiver, I got a roof over my head. I got a refrigerator I can eat off of because I'm staying at their house. You see? That's how it's supposed to be. Stop worshiping these damn kids and putting all the energy to the kids. All the kid come first. What the fuck for? You see? They've liberated our servants, our domestic helpmeets, and compartmentalized their roles and sold it back to us just like a damn capitalist would. That's what a capitalist do. They'll take something, break it down, and sell it to you in fractions just to get the capital or the most out of it, man. Meanwhile, our family is in the Shalom Zaquan, Yahabashma Shabakatha. Our family is deprived of everything. The family is fucked up because we in a country where you can go to school and learn these skills and these trades, but you don't take that skill and bring it back to your family. You take that skill and empower the dominant power structure. Meanwhile, your family that probably helped you get in that position they're neglected. You see? Same thing with a man. I was watching this other Jake, and I forget King something, I forget his name. But he was basically saying how he might have grew up in Alabama or Georgia. He got that accent like me. I'm from Mississippi. But he said he grew up on the country end. He grew up in the country where that was growing food, growing herbs, growing the herbs and spices. It was different men staying in this village type place, right? A man, men to show him how to actually change out a toilet, another man to show him how to change oil. He a little boy learning all this. So by the time he's an adult, he went off and joined the military. But by the time he's like 21, he's opening up a boarding school to raise boys, to teach them skills. That's what I would call a high value man. He's competent. So you have these women who've been liberated from their roles, and most American women, they're too busy fucking working, all right, to actually be women. But then you got the men on the other end of the spectrum. They've been disconnected from their roles. So most women in their prime, in their youth, they're not looking for the gender role in a man. They're judging him based off an archetype, how he looked, or something financial, or something sexual, or he's a tool to pay for her free dates, whatever it may be. It usually has nothing to do with his gender role. So now men of my generation are incompetent. They don't know anything. And just how feminism, the ripple effect on feminism, it inadvertently liberated certain men from their gender role. Because if you're raised by a woman, what you gonna learn? And what happened is, just so women won't need men, they took what men can do and sold it back to women. Let me take this. I ain't gonna take it off. But they took men and they compartmentalized their capabilities and sold it back to women. Because, for example, you got Tire Lube Express, right? TLE. You got these little service oil change places. Most of the people that's going through there are women or men who just don't have time to change their own oil, because that's possible too. You might not just have time, all right? But most of the people who go to these services, the services are for women. It's counseling men out. But if you actually have a man, you're supposed to have to do some of that stuff. Change a tire. It's possible to know how to change oil. Instead of spending $80 every time you need an oil change, all right? What's another one? Fixing brakes, putting brake pads on. You see? Those are really men's roles. You see? So, even the provider aspect of it, men have been disconnected from their role, and a lot of women have been finessed into really replacing men's roles, and it's killing them. So now these women are at plants, like these production plants, and they're getting their bodies broken down like how men are getting their bodies broken down. And they sitting there thinking about the daycare and the kids, and man, I'm gonna get off work and be able to pick them up on time, and is the baby daddy gonna be able to do this? And yeah, changing fan belts. You know, you threw one. That's a project for me, bro. But that's something that we should be able to do. But you paying somebody to do it, and they robbing you, Eve. And I ain't talking to the sisters. I wouldn't talk to y'all like, you know, but they robbing Eve, man. This little simple shit that our daddy taught us, so we didn't figure out how to do. They charging y'all hundreds of dollars to do it, and it ain't that hard. We just getting a little dirty. It ain't that, it's a procedure just like everything else. They took us out the household like it was something bad for us to be there, but then they turned around and sold you our gender role infractions. Like the brother said, a fan belt, an oil change, brake pads, and they charging you. They giving you extra shit that's wrong with your car. Probably ain't even nothing wrong with your car like that, but that's the hustle. They prey, this society prey on single women because they getting all the money off this little chick in college. She don't know why these little lights popping up on her dashboard. She don't know nothing about an ODB meter. All right, an older woman don't know a lot about that stuff, man. All right, so they liberated you from us, and instead of having the convenience of having your man outside doing these things, you coming out of pocket and paying these different service providers to do it, and they charge you a whole lot more than what they need to charge you. You see, when you see what women's liberation did, it stimulated the economy. You got to pay for a daycare. You got to pay for a babysitter. Who gonna watch the kids overnight? So you got to pay for a daycare. You got to ask somebody, your friends, to get inconvenienced. A lot of these women, they mamas is the mama. The woman that had the child, and she ain't ready to be a mama, so she made her mama the mama of her child. So like I said, you got the daycares, you got a babysitter, you got fast food. It ain't supposed to be no such thing as fast food because the kitchen is the restaurant. The restaurants, all right? You got hospitals, pediatricians. A woman should be a pediatrician, you see? And going back to our extended family, typically nobody is that position for our family that comes from our family. Like when my grandma got sick, we had a family nurse. My grandma got sick with a family nurse, and it was some type of problem with that. Out of all the women in our family, nobody can stay with grandma and watch grandma. And we so sophisticated in this country, Eve all into these books, but everybody fat, everybody overweight. We all got high blood pressure, diabetes, gout. You so sophisticated, you so liberated, you so on your shit, but you don't know how to stay in. You don't know how to keep them pounds off. That's why we need religion. That's why we need the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, because it creates customs in a culture that encapsulates you from the wild, from the world, from westernization. And women from other cultures, they don't know how much shielded they are by being in an arranged marriage, by their family choosing a man they're going to be with. They don't know how much of a burden that took off them. They envy this shit. Women in West Africa getting divorced, they go over here and do what Eve do, ruin her life. But they liberated you from the gender role. They liberated our women from our gender role and served. Let me rephrase that. They liberated our women from their gender role and marketed their duties back to us through the economy. Go call up a housekeeper and see how much it's gonna cost to clean your house. See how much it's gonna cost for somebody to watch your kids all day. See how much it's gonna cost for somebody to watch your grandparents, to watch the elderly in the family. See how much it's gonna cost for a nurse to go be a traveling nurse and a domestic nurse. You know what I mean? See how much it's gonna cost to eat out every day. They liberated her and sold her duties back there, and she never got liberated because she went from working for us to working for them. You know, and she don't even know them. At least we care about you. At least we'll kill somebody for you. At least we'll protect you. You know, you at a hospital changing all type of strangers' diapers. You know, In the middle of a pandemic, changing all type of strangers' diapers, man. Let's go, bro. GMS dedication to Shalom, brother. Before I go, whence I should not return, even to the land of darkness, and to the shadow of death, a land of darkness, as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness. God, it's confusion. Confusion. When you think about it, nobody got liberated. It was just like the Civil War. It was a transfer of slaves from the South to the industrial North. It was a transfer of you being a domestic servant to a damn corporate servant. And the elites ate off that. They ate off the finesse. It was a great finesse. All right, because they took your gender roles and they compartmentalized it and sold it back to you and us for a large fee. All right, and things that a man would have been doing for you, Eve, now you got to go to these different service providers and pay for it and get financially messed over. Or hell, these different dudes that you asking, these different dudes that you know, that you mess with, and asking them, you know how to fix this? You know how to replace a fan belt? You got $80 right quick. Yeah, because you think you thought it was a better deal to be free, not be under one man, and just have these different dudes you trying to help get to have you fix your problem. You know, instead of being under one man, ultimately there's under Yahweh Bashim Habashai. You know, hey, but I gotta go back in. Hey, the water for tuning in. I hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, Shabbat Shalom. And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Habashai Bashim Wakakadas, the understrong elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness, and house of David the elect. Abba, come out, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shalom. Con. Hey, your roles are beautiful, and our roles are